After a tight schedule ending with a serene trip to Nami Island the previous day, our next plan was to explore Seoul on a bus. Seoul Bus Tour provides tourists and locals with an opportunity to see Seoul while sitting in the comfort of an open double-decker bus. You can book tickets for the tour from their website. You can also purchase physical tickets from their office near Gwangamun station. And if you have a Discover Seoul Pass like us, you only need to show them to the ticket counter and get tickets in return. If you have seen the previous vlogs on our trip to South Korea, you know by now how Discover Seoul Pass will help you to visit the major tourist attractions in Seoul. Anyway, the bus started at 9:30 am. They didn't give us any designated seat numbers. Our target was the open roof of the bus. So, without wasting time, we climbed the stairs and grabbed our seats. Although the temperature in Seoul drops to the lower side during the nights, the days can be sunny enough to burn your skin. So wear sunscreen and always try to sit or walk under shade wherever possible during the day. That's why even though we decided to sit on the roof of the open double-decker bus and enjoy the city view, we still opted for seats under the shade provided on the roof. We would be sitting in the bus for the next 1.5 hours, so we wanted to avoid the heat as much as possible. They gave us earphones with the tickets. We used them to listen to the translated versions of the commentary they gave in Korean on the bus. On our first day in Korea itself, we realized that knowing English was not enough here. Natives prefer to speak in Korean. Of course, there were exceptions such as in airports or hotels where staff had to interact with foreigners in English daily. But in the rest of the places, we had to open Google Translate, shift our phones towards the next person, and let the technology do the job on our behalf. Even the big shopping malls, let alone the convenience stores, had their products labeled in Korean. Google Lens came to our rescue and translated the script written in Korean to English whenever we had doubts about the products, especially when we picked up any packaged food from the shelves. Beef and pork ruled the food products. GS25 and 7-Eleven stores throughout the Seoul provided a major relief whenever we could not find anything suitable to stuff our stomachs as we hopped from one tourist location to another. As the bus drove us into the city amidst the weekday traffic, I wondered if language and food were a problem at all. The answer was a big no, because there were only small hiccups compared to the enriching experience we had in South Korea so far. The country was beautiful and so was the warm behavior of the natives. Probably that's why not knowing Korean didn't stop the old lady selling vegetables on the street side from smiling at us even when she knew well that we would not get anything from her. Whether it was the cab driver greeting us with a namaste who drove us from Seoul station to our hotel, or the middle-aged woman leaving her seat so that I could sit next to my daughter in the subway. I had several experiences of feeling the genuinity of the locals. They knew how to make a guest feel at home. The bus ride was supposed to take us through the major attractions in Seoul, including the Enseol Tower, and end by 11 am. But we had plans to visit the Lotte World Adventure Seoul and wanted to get there before lunch. So as much as I wished to stay inside the bus and explore the scenic Seoul, I had to get down. However, I sat inside a city bus tour like this one after a long time. We usually don't go on such bus tours when we travel, and I must say it was like a joy ride for me. Probably the lighter version of what we would experience in the Lotte World in our next hop. So stay tuned and watch this space for our trip to the Lotte World in the next vlog.